everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making a sew along together. We are sewing this lovely 1950s button-up blouse, Simplicity 34-38. I already made a lovely mock-up here. I only made one sleeve because who needs the both of them? And we are using this beautiful eyelet cotton fabric that I found. I'll be linking it down below in the description box. And I'm sorry that it's been a while since I last made a sewing video. My life has been way too chaotic and I had my wardrobe stolen a while ago, so I was sewing too much and burning myself out trying to build my wardrobe all over again from like almost nothing, which obviously didn't work. So I took a bit of time to rebuild my wardrobe, at least the basics, by buying them ready-made, and focused on that a little bit. And I decided to now slowly add some special pieces that I made, and I'm gonna sew like once or twice a month a garment that I really will work hard on instead of really pushing myself to the edge and like burning myself out. And I will really focus on enjoying it. I hope you enjoy this too. I'll be showing you all the steps, and if you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear it. Give this video a like if you enjoy it and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go. First things first, prepping the fabric. I went through the usual routine, washing, drying, and a good old ironing session. Then came the meticulous task of straightening those edges for the perfect grain line, which is so important. Shout out to my ever helpful boyfriend for his expert grain line finding skills. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? And cutting time was a breeze with my trusty roller cutter and cutting mat. But marking the fabric was a different story. Turns out embroidery and pigments don't play well together, and after a bit of trial and error, tailor's tacks became the unsung hero despite my dislike for them. They take forever and they kill my back every time, and they're also less precise than if I drew like with a chalk on the fabric, but I guess they are a necessary evil. Next, darts, darts, and more darts. The 50s pattern certainly loves its darts. In total there are 12 of them, including a battalion of waist darts. After sewing them together, a crisp press with my trusty pressing cushion was in order. Here's my pin-obsessed bird Lilo's attempt at pin theft. We thwarted his mission before he killed us all though. So here is the current project. I have placed the two front pieces on top of my back piece, wrong sides together, because I decided to use some French seams for the shoulders and the side seams here. So I'm gonna start with the shoulders and then I'm gonna do the side seams, and we'll see how it turns out. Moving on to the basic construction. French seams rule the game, except for the armholes, which got a bias tape hug, and inner collar seams that got a pinked treatment. Side seams were carefully pinned, wrong sides together, and sewn into those sleek French seams. Then came the front facings, where tiredness led to some amusing mistakes, which are amusing now but were not very amusing at the time. Mixing up sides when the fabric looks identical is a real struggle, but perseverance paid off and I managed to fix it. I started by turning under the free edges and then attaching them to the shirt's fronts. Now the big long necktie, too lengthy for a single piece, so I halved it with a seam allowance. I pressed, pinked and readied it for action. Next, as instructed by the pattern, I sewed the neck edges together, paying attention to which way my shoulder seams will be laying. I then carefully clip the neck edge. The lower edges were hemmed, even though it's always tucked in. Perfection wasn't the goal, but hey, it worked out and it looked good on the first try, so no unpicking here, which I usually have to unpick my hems the first time. Back to the neck edge, collar and tie carefully pinned, basted and sewn. Clipping, grading and pinked seams might sound extra, but it's my favorite part and I love adding that extra special touch to hidden details and make it also more sturdy at the same time. Hand sewing the tie's edges, which was a bit of a impulsive decision. It took forever, but the result was totally worth the effort. I regret nothing. Next, one of the most pleasant steps, gathering the arm piece sleeves to match the length of the cuffs. I made sure that the folds were even and nice looking, and I then sewed, pressed and clipped the seams. Moving on to the arm piece sleeves, where a minor hiccup had me sewing the side seams first, but a quick fix saved the day. French seams, clip away the excess, fold under the seam allowance and a bit of slip stitching and the sleeves were good to go. Finally, sewing the armholes onto the bodice. Not the most thrilling part for me, but hey, it went smoothly. Alright, so this is how the blouse is looking for now, and I tried making some buttonholes with my machine and it failed completely, so I want to make the buttonholes by hand, which is something I have never done before. So I will take the time to do some test ones on a scrap piece of fabric before I actually do it on my blouse here. I was originally going to use these little Carosa buttons, which match really well, but then I was on Etsy and I found these 1920s faux pearl glass buttons that are super pretty, and I thought, why not? And also I finished the inner seams of the sleeve of the armhole with a crepe bias tape like this, which I ordered and had to wait for it to arrive as well. Okay, so here we are. I've already made 3 of the buttonholes. I have 2 more to make, and I wanted to show you exactly how I did it. So I'm using 3 types of thread. One of them is a basting thread, and I've basted all around here. I also have this super thin hand sewing thread. I use that to stabilize the 2 layers, like sort of a whip stitch around the edges of the buttonhole, so that the 2 layers of fabric, the facing and the top part, they don't move. And for the buttonhole itself, I'm using this thicker fabric. It says it's for hand quilting. It's partly cotton and partly polyester. I had some different options and I tried them all, and I like this one the best. And there you have it, the tale of crafting a 50s blouse original from the sewing pattern. Challenges, theft, and a crazy bird, but a great result, I think. It might be one of my favorite thing I've ever sewn. So I had a lot of fun making it as well. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some inspiration from it. Until next time, happy sewing, friends. Bye!